Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Cashman. I'm a consultant, trainer and accredited life coach. Previous incarnations I've had, I've been head of arts and events for the Borough of Hartlepool. I was director and chief executive of the Audience Development Agency for the North of England, and I was head of audience development for AMH. State of the arts, state of audiences. Let's think about the arts first. Let's take an example. Look at that track from the cave painting in Italy, France, of cattle, through to the concrete cows in Milton Keynes. We've got a primal urge going on here to actually depict things, to reflect on things. Same with audiences. Audiences have been with us from the time of Greece through the Georgians, the 20th century and present day, when people are watching and taking part as a primal urge. Thinking about that primal urge, how it's going to affect audiences in the future, there's a number of ways in which we perhaps should be thinking. All the challenges and opportunities that comes from the ageing society, the need, not in education, employment or training challenge, multiculturalism, all those technological developments, even through to what I call predictive algorithms, like you get on Amazon and iTunes, things that make recommendations to audiences. And what are we going to do without the news of the world? I want you to know, on this day of all days, are a number of elephants in the room. Unless we actually start worrying about them, we're in danger of being trampled by heffalumps. Now, I'm going to devote the rest of this presentation to warning you of what I see as those elephants. So let's take a deep breath and go back to that, perhaps the most popular slide of this afternoon, the Michelangelo thing saying, look, creation of Adam, it's about making connections between two entities. That's the thing when we think about arts and audiences we mustn't forget about. We mustn't forget about the knowledge that it needs to actually do that effectively. So my first question for you is, where's the knowledge that comes when we connect arts and audiences going to reside? Now there's been a sea change in the nature of audience development agencies. Just get in trouble by the formatting of that slide, which changed since I sent it. I do apologise.
So do I see.
I do apologise about that as well. I want to say to you, if you can't read the writing on that slide, that audience development was far, far more than a Blairite fad. In terms of zeitgeist, the time was right for audience development. That thinking of engaging with more people in society. But for me, it's all down to the three core drivers of non-profit cultural organisations. That core cultural urge to make and create things, the business imperative to make a profit or balance the books, and the social responsibility that comes from being received of funding. And in response to those, audience development thinkers throughout the country have come up with a number of intervention strategies about in-house quality of engagement, about increased volume of use, and about increased extension of social inclusion. As our body of knowledge grew, we've seen the evolution, the development, the ascent of the audience developer. Think about the history of what's happened to jobs. Right back in the beginning, we just had the basic publicist. Then they renamed themselves marketing officers, but they're still basically publicists of disguised publicists. Who had data-driven marketing managers, strategic marketing directors, what comes next? We have a chance this afternoon to celebrate the Brains Trust, which is the audience development community, or the community that's thinking about audience development. And that's what I want to do in the next couple of slides. For a start, we've got all the funding and national bodies, like Audiences UK, thank you David, the Arts Council, the AMA, which have made it possible, surrounded by all those agencies who've been devising the audience development technology, building the knowledge base, and are now changing their status in different ways. Excuse me. We also have to recognise that there's a plethora of consultants out there. Sorry not on there, Roger, but I have to say that BBC, other consultants are available. These are just ones I found on the internet. All our friends, Tim Baker and Debbie Richards, Stuart at Purple 7, Katie Ranger at Indigo. But there's still the danger that we're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. All that knowledge which has been built in the agencies it's about to evaporate, maybe. In fact, I'm deeply, deeply worried about it. And it's not just about the look on that baby's face. I remember the late John Matthews, may he rest in peace, standing up at a conference in Cardiff in the mid-90s and saying, when will this industry stop reinventing the wheel? And he meant particularly arts marketing. And that whole process of actually devising initiatives, recreating those initiatives, is wasteful. What really worries me is this potential diaspora, this spreading apart of the audience development know-how that we have in this country. And when I was thinking about that, it reminded me very deeply about a really, really scary book. Anyone read Fahrenheit 451? Show of hands, please. About 50%, that's good. Quick summary of the plot, or you can actually say it with me as I go work along. Fahrenheit 451 is the temperature at which paper burns. In this dystopian society, firemen are people who burn books and destroy knowledge. And at the end of the book, there are a group of people living in the woods. They're dissidents, and every one of them actually learns a book and can repeat it by heart. I'm worried that's going to happen to all the audience development technology. Who wants to be Test Drive the Arts? Who wants to be Index, Arts Index Southeast? I want to know where the library of audience development know-how is going to be. It could be physical, it could be virtual. But we're going to need it somewhere, folks, and pretty damn quick. Thank you very much.